What did you learn about going 11-7 in Tampa? Obviously, that's a thing you guys did there a fair bit.
Yeah, I mean, I had done it before in Detroit a bit too. Did it a decent amount in Tampa. I think some teams it works, some teams it doesn't. I think if you go, Coop and I coach against each other in junior, and so I think in junior hockey we both probably at times went 11-7. I think again, to me, it's a fit for your team. I think if you look through, there are years where we didn't much and years where we did. I think in this particular team, it kind of evens out responsibilities, and also at times makes matchups harder for the opponent because you're able to move guys like Connor around, and so he's not just on one line, so it makes it harder to match. So those are kind of some different ways that reasons why we do it.
Do you feel like having that experience makes it easier for you to roll the lines? Because it can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. I think the fact I've done it and I've watched Coop do it, and you get a feel for it a little bit. And I think again sometimes it depends what maybe your line that you're leaving open, what the players are. Like a guy like Greener, I like to see. Connor have some ice time with him, or Frankie has some ice time with him because he's a guy who eventually has skill and can make some plays, and so it kind of made sense that way. But yeah, I think you have to really make sure that you have kind of a plan going in, and you can't get too stuck on matchups yourself because it gets a little bit difficult then.
Connor's minutes have been pretty reasonable though. He's playing like 18, 19, 20 minutes a night. I mean, are you planning to lean on him a little harder as the season goes on?
I wouldn't get up higher than 20. I don't like to see forwards get up higher than 20. And I think when you do, it's usually those situations where you've maybe had a 2-minute 6-on-5 and stuff like that. But I don't see a reason to get up much more than that. I think if you look through most of the teams that are pretty successful. I mean, maybe Edmonton's a little bit different, but there's a balance through their lineup. To me, it's more of a game-by-game and situation basis. Some of these nights we've killed a lot of penalties, so it's hard for him to gain any kind of minutes. And honestly, we had to work to get him those 18 probably that night against Montreal. But somewhere between 18-21 is a healthy amount of numbers for great players, I think.
Burkovsky seems really comfortable holding the puck and being patient in the offensive zone, especially on the power play. Is that something you'd like to see some of the other guys learn from, that skill?
Well, I think that poise is important, and I think he is calm with it, and he's done a good job of managing it. The balance on being calm is that you don't try to make something out of nothing when you run out of room, and he's done a good job of that. The things that I'd heard about him from a strength standpoint was his ability to kind of transport it through the neutral zone, get into the O zone, and then make some plays, and he's showing that. He's showing that both through the neutral zone and also in the O zone, and I've been real happy with his approach. And then you see him last night being one of the best guys back checking, doing those types of things. That's a great leadership moment too.
Louis Crevier's earned a little more playing time than maybe some of us expected. What has he done to earn your trust?
Well, he's played well, to be honest with you. He's a 6 foot whatever. Is he six? Yeah, 6 foot gigantic guy who can skate pretty well. I think his skating, my gut is probably improved. I can't say that for certain, but we've done some drills to put D in tough spots, and his skating actually has been really good. So at that point, you're kind of a really good defender if you just you have good body position, good sticks, and he's done a good job of that. He's done a really good job in the kill from day one. So right away, when we talk about 7, now that gives us a guy like Murphy, a guy like Louis to kind of specialize in the kill, and then you have the other 2 right shot D with Levchinov and Rinzel to kind of specialize in the power play. And so that's a good balance there. I think Louis getting that fight I think was great for Louis too. It kind of shows that. He's got that physicality, and he's going to bring a little more of that edge and physicality. If he can bring that to his game, at that size, boy, you can be a really good player.
What have you seen from Sam Rinzel's game? I know a lot's been kind of made about Levchinov in similar roles, but what have you seen from Rinzel?
I think similar to Artie, like up and down. I think Sam's had moments he's played, had games he's played really good. I think games 2 and 3 played really good. And I think games 1 and 4 wasn't quite as good, and that's just the reality of, I think, young defensemen. The prime of forwards' careers is younger than defense. It usually takes defense a little bit longer, and so that's kind of the growing pains that we'll absorb as we go through this season with those guys. Is just a little bit of that ups and downs. And I think with Sam, I thought he rebounded great after the Florida game. I thought he did an excellent job of showing the mental toughness that he has and the strengths that he has. I talked to him about if he has to be a player that makes plays out there. That's what makes him special, and so he's done a good job of that. And then there's just that balance with it. So, we got to watch his ice time for sure. I think there's been a couple games where his ice time's gotten way too high. With that, we got to make sure that we're doing a job off the ice to keep the weight on him and things like that, because that's part of the grind of the NHL season, and we got to make sure we keep him at the right number in terms of strength and stuff like that.
Landon Slaggert skated today. Do you have any update on how he's doing?
He will not play tomorrow, but I would say there's a possibility for Friday. Possibility for that.